There's a hugely empathetic part of me that feels like it's tough, isn't it? It's always tough to see a man getting broken to his knees. But as a coach, and a coach who, 13 years I've been doing it, and I've had some horrendously tough moments with many individuals. I've sat with men who are close to suicide, there is no doubt about that, who are already closing their eyes when they're driving their car. Leaders, big leaders. So I don't fuck around at this stuff. It's too harsh, it's too uncompromising a landscape. The wilderness is barren. And so when I think about Southgate and I create this content, it's with absolute empathy, in suffering. I've suffered, I can understand it. Year-to-year contracts a player, centre forward getting things thrown at, spat at, rocks thrown at my car. Fuck you, Broughton, you're shit. Never played for the club. I've had it, lower levels, but it's the same stuff. I've had to live it, and I have to go out there again Tuesday night, Saturday, and play and score. And I have to score because I need my money at the lower levels and I need the contract, so I have to perform. I understand this stuff so deeply. It took everything from me. It nearly killed me. And now, healed and reformed over a decade ago, and having worked with some incredible teams and individuals, I need to go into what I hear here. I need to go into it. Because if you're watching this and you're leading anything, you will have suffered with this. You're looking for intensity from your team. That's a given. Whether it's setting up high quality meetings in the sales world, driving great relationships with C-suite people to selling down the line. You intensely have to create those opportunities and the courage. You have to have the courage in those moments not to sell, to let go of their opinion of you, to be there and be whole and know that I'm not here to sell really. I'm just here, a man, two souls, we're connecting and down the line maybe something. In the football world, what I'm hearing, and if you look at Southgate's comments in The Guardian here, my God, I've seen it. I have seen it, and I've sat with men who've led teams all over the world, big sports teams, and they've been in the same situation right here. Same situation. And do you know what I hear? Denial. Denial. My process, our how at Sweat and Courage, the thing that my coaches go out and take, the thing that I came to, and I came to it, didn't learn this in a brainstorming day, was the how. Vulnerability, acceptance, into Sweat and Courage, 1, 2, 3. The vulnerability is to face the truth. So when Southgate, it's an unusual environment. No, it's not an unusual environment. That's denial. What's the truth here? Vulnerability means the truth. The truth is the team ain't performing. They're not intense enough out of possession, and there's nowhere near enough courage in possession. A strange environment? No. If you're at Real Madrid, your Ferraris will be petrol bombed at the gates. I've had rocks thrown at my car, sworn at, my mum abused. That's absolutely right, by the way. Let's get rid of this woke mentality that that's not right. If you want to earn £4 million plus a year, it's coming. It is coming. What's coming? Well, the gates of hell are coming with it and the fury, and you will get abused and your mental health will be ripped to shreds, and that is right. Please boundary all of the well-being do-gooders who want to drive the opposite narrative. It's nonsense. It's fucking nonsense. All of it's coming, and that's the price that you will pay the piper. So, first thing, if we're going to go for the how, denial, a strange environment. What do you feel, Gareth? Is it a strange environment? No, it's horrific. I'm getting abused and shouted at. It's not strange. The team is not performing. You've got a team full of millionaire stars. Fucking perform or leave in any job you do. I have built a company. I'm very grateful for it. I've got coaches who rely on me. I've got a wife, kids. I've got now people who work for me. I better fucking perform. My coaches better perform. They better create transformation in the organisations they work in. Otherwise, go. I'll close the whole business down. You'll all be bankrupt and I will too. Let's go back to being homeless. We have to perform, first and foremost. So the environment's not strange if we don't. We have to, the vulnerability to share that into acceptance. Do you accept you have to pay the piper? Do you accept there's a price? Do you accept the team's not performing? Do you accept you're being abused on so? Do you accept that is a byproduct of what you're doing here. Acceptance is a freeing energy. Autumn accepts that winter's coming. Spring accepts it's had its turn, summer's coming. And then the final comment there, where Gareth talks about, I'm okay, I mean, I'm fine, but you know, if I ask him to be fearless, stop lying, Gareth. You're not fine. You cannot be fine. Your whole life has built up to this moment. Your working life has built up to this tournament. You're not full-time in a football club. So you're coming in, you're dipping in and out. You're not full-time. You cannot be fine. What's the truth here? I'm not sleeping. I'm questioning everything. I thought we prepared. We've got all the sports scientists, S&C. We've got the best crack team in the world behind us. None of it's working. And I'm questioning everything. And whatever it is, but share some fucking truth here. And I'm not saying you share all of that with the public, but there has to be some honesty. It's the message you give out. It's the energy you give out of authenticity that your players will feed off. And then I want our players to be fearless, well, yet you're full of fear. They ain't going to be fearless unless you sit with the truth. It's energy of authenticity. It's 4,000 times more powerful than love. What's the truth here, man? I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm going to get humiliated. I'm scared that we're going to lose the game, the tournament. I'm scared, guys. Do it in your private suite in the hotel. No one needs to know about it, but fucking lead. And I'm even being aggressive there. I shouldn't be aggressive, I'm sorry, because he wouldn't have the tools for any of this stuff. He wouldn't have the tools. He'll have the pro license or A license. None of that. Forget, it's irrelevant. It's more graphs on a wall. There's no tools in there for leadership. That is for sure. Authenticity, vulnerability, surrender, acceptance, shame. So the how is that. The how. Vulnerability, acceptance, sweat and courage. And once you've accepted, you've been vulnerable, you've faced the truth with your soul in your room and you haven't slept, dark night of soul. You sat on your balcony at a hotel room, you've actually looked over, I could kill myself here. Let's get some truth here. Then you've accepted the great burden that comes. And I'm doing this because I have a spiritual life. How can you not when you accept such a burden? You're into acceptance. And now what are we left with? Well, the only things we'll ever have. The beads of sweat on her head and the courage. What does that look like? I remember walking into I worked with an international team. I was flown in to work with them and I got off the plane and walked into the room there and there was about 15 laptops going and there's a big screen with games on the loop and everyone looked up from the laptop as I came in the room and hey guys, how you doing? Head coach comes over, we're speaking. Good flight, and yeah. I said, what's going on there? Building websites, coding, or what? Oh, come on, mate, no. 4 games out from a game, what's everyone doing? You know, preparing and for what? There's a game. Find out their shape, find out their watch their clips, find out how they play, what are their personnel, a little bit of work, not too much, and now we're going to get after them. We're going to get after them with sweat and with courage. Our players will not be short of courage because I ain't. Prepared to lose everything every day. Prepared to burn down the relationship with my CEO, prepared to burn down the relationship with my wife, absolutely prepared. But I will be authentic, courageous to be authentic. So, and the performance in that particular international game 4 days later was shit. It was 1-1, crap, equalised, last 10 minutes, well done. I was raging in it. As a performance coach, it hurt me deeply. Because I sat with 16 players over that 4 days and I freed up 2 or 3 and it was incredible. And I got caught in between the press then. Hey, it's the press. We got caught in between it. And I just said to the forward, he hadn't scored for 7, 8, 9 games in his club league and he was on a bit of a dark spell. He nearly got a big move. It fell through before the window. Now over controlling it, wasn't scoring, and I shared with him and I actually cried with him. I'll never forget that because it brought back all the stuff that I used to go through as a player. And I said to him, what do you do, man? What's your game? He said, I'm a relentless machine. Okay. And he said, I take the ball, give me the ball, and I just score goals, get in the box. And, okay, that's sweat and courage then. So why don't you go out to the game and look at the 2 centre halves and say, I'm going to make your life misery tonight. I'm going to make it living hell tonight. I'm going to get after you, and I'm going to have courage. Courage. And if he would pick and choose the time to press, he goes, yeah, but they're saying, you know, pick that press. And I said, when are you at your best? And well, I'll just get after them, make it hell for them. I said, just get after them. They'll follow you. And if they don't follow you, drag them with you. Get after them. I've been a number 9. When I'm caught in between that press, and it's fucking nonsense. Get after somebody. That's Pep Guardiola, that's Jurgen Klopp. 5-second rule. Klopp, his philosophy when he took over at Mainz. We want to make it hell for the opposition. Good. Simplicity, absolute simplicity. So this stuff is everywhere. You go into businesses, there's all KPIs and this and measurables, and what the fuck are we talking about here? What's going on for you as the leader? Yeah, I'm shitting myself. Oh, have you shared that? No. Okay, you might want to. Be vulnerable. Acceptance of the role. I have to live in this with absolute empathy. Because here's the truth. Always conscious how much truth you share with the relationships I have in the game and the levels I work at. But I can share bits. When Eddie Boothroyd left his role with England as the 21s coach, friends with Gareth, and Eddie I've known since I was 19, 20 when I was a young player at Peterborough, and Eddie came on my leadership course, and he was brilliant for the young coaches on there, fantastic. As I knew Eddie always to be, a real out there personality. He got a great way, but he was lost. There's no bones about it. He was pretty lost as a man. Didn't like what I saw. It stank, in fact. Didn't like what I saw. Saw another man washed up on the rocks of this industry, and it will wash you up on the rocks. It will take everything from you. And he'd lost himself. The fundamentals of that man, and I said to him, and he came in, he said to me, I've got my philosophy. I said, what are you, Socrates? I don't need to read your philosophy. And I certainly don't need a fucking 10-page, 30-page book on it. I've got a philosophy, sweat and courage. Everything I do, I'm all in. And I am damn sure I'm going to have the courage to be myself. Going back to a player, if I see the opportunity to drop in there, and I'm fucking dropping in. I'm going to have the courage to be authentic all over the place. And I'm going to have the courage to go, fuck the result, fuck everyone. I'm doing me. Make sure you make that run across the near post. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I might not feel it, so I won't do it if I don't want to do it. Courage, 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 courage. In business now, courage, risk, risk, risk. Shit. When I built my business, it was scaling quickly. What the fuck do I do? Need 80 grand, right, cool. Take a loan out, no problem. What do we do here? Risk, risk, risk. I'll come back tenfold in a year's time. Risk gets bigger, no problem. Keep risking. And so 80 lost himself. And I'm careful now, I won't share beyond, because he shared stories from when he was a 21s coach and moments he had on the training field there at St George's Park where he questioned what he was doing. Is this me? Do I really believe in any of this? The answer a lot of the time for him as a man was no. I'll leave that story there because I'm very conscious. He's a great man, AD, and I don't want to be sharing stories. But he wouldn't mind me sharing that. Be vulnerable, courageous enough in him to say, I lost myself. There's no big thing there. We all do. Any man in here saying they don't lose themselves, talking nonsense. So this is it, guys. This is it. And they're everywhere this way, by the way. Vulnerability, acceptance, sweat and courage. That's what we teach. And we drive it in hard with the what and what to deliver that how is key for us then. And you will win. I mean, I've worked at 2 companies in the city. The growth has been absolutely exponential growth. Southampton last year, working intensely with them. 3 college teams in America, record years in 40, 50 years. Is it because I'm great? No. I've got a couple of skills that I'm very blessed every day I have. They look after my family and they enable me to do something I love to do. I'm not great. I'm a vehicle for a very powerful message that I've been led to, kicking and screaming after 600 games, divorce, bankruptcy, homelessness, which for a man like me who was privately educated and was a captain, leader type in every team was a hard pill to swallow. But when I sat in there in rehab, I realised I had allowed people to come in and infiltrate my system like a disease, and I was at disease. I wasn't at ease. I wasn't at ease when I played, I wasn't at ease anywhere. I allowed individuals to come into my system and make me second guess everything and complicate it. I was speaking to one of my family members, extended, who owned a company with 2 or 3 of his family, a multi-million pound company, and they were all very wealthy individuals. And then the structure of the company changed. One of the brother owned a few more shares, so he made more decisions than everybody else, and it turned corporate. There was C-suites coming in, there was tears, and there was all the nonsense started, and profits were going down everywhere. And he said, I couldn't let it go anymore, so I pulled the C-suites and various people in the room and said, I went rogue, went for a week, fucked it all off, went old school, back what I did, got on the road, met people, built my relationships with the guys I had relationships with, found out what their problems were, how we can solve them, found out that accounts weren't being properly looked after, and won more business in that week that had been won in the last year. And when I referred that back in the board meeting at the end of the week, I shared that this has happened. What came back is, what did you do? And I got in my car, took a couple of aeroplanes, and I sat with a man, and we discussed his problems. And I shared that I might have some solutions. And he shared that they weren't being met currently by the company. And I said to him, I'm really sorry, and I'm going to make sure you're refunded money for that. He said, that's great. We actually got new projects coming up. And these people looked at it like an alien. But what are the measurables? Do we need to put it in the system? And there's no system. Sweat and courage. So I do hope, Gareth, like AD, and like many managers who never recover, emotionally never recover. How can you recover? You get fired from a job, yet your whole belief system, I've seen them come on my boot camp, trust me. Guys who they've watched your content for a year. I was watching it through hands. I was like, I hate this guy. He's a fucking arrogant. And wow, it's Carl Jung's work, isn't it? You know, what you most hate about somebody else. First have a look at yourself. What do you hate about yourself? And they do that. I hope Gareth his spine is not snapped completely after this event, because the trauma's big. You know, look at my books over there. Phil Jackson, the coach of the great Lakers and Bulls, said the biggest fear for any coach and player is humiliation in the arena. Well, you are being humiliated right now. That's for sure. You are being humiliated right now. And that can leave a level of PTSD that you can either bury, but it will come out, or you can face. And that's what we do.